Welcome back to Ren Draws Disney, and today we have our first ever episode focused around Disney princesses. Ooh. Now today we're going to be taking a magic carpet ride all the way to Agrabah. That's right, episode 1 is our favorite feisty queen, Jasmine. So buckle up, put your ears on, and let's make some magic. All right, so here we go again. We've got my handy dandy pen. As I mentioned before, my process of drawing is a little bit different than most people. 98% of the time, my sketches are done traditionally. So as you can see here, I've got my Jasmine sketch that was imported into Photoshop. I did this sketch about 2 years ago, and I really like it. We're gonna color it and give it some life. So on that note, let's go ahead and get started. So, Aladdin was released on November 8th, 1992, and actually won a bunch of different awards, including the Academy Award for Best Music. I think that one was original score for Alan Menken. I know the MTV Movie Award for Best Comedic Performance was granted to Robin Williams, as well as a bunch of other awards, so people really liked this film when it came out. And for me, I remember as a kid not really getting all of the jokes. I know I really liked the voice acting when I was young, and the character designs were so cool, and they really made Aladdin feel like a faraway land. And now it's even better because, like, as most Disney movies do, that movie just gets better with age, and as you get older, you notice more things, and you can get more of the humor behind it and appreciate it more. Just kind of like, you know, I've really grown to appreciate Aladdin as a film so much more. What I'm doing here is I was starting to work on the background pagoda, and when I sketched this, originally I had it kind of being a little more flat, and later you'll see me kind of adjust it. And I'm essentially just taking it and splitting it in half, dividing the layer, and then expanding on that and throwing layers of different colors underneath it so it looks, you know, small to big to bigger without having to be careful of my lines. I can just kind of layer it over each other. Also, you will notice throughout this video, these curtains give me such a headache, and I go back and change them a million times and redraw them. For the reds and the blues of this movie being so striking, and like the Cave of Wonder scene and the scene where Jafar goes to his lair, all of those reds and blues, I just loved watching it and how colorful and how saturated it was. Which reminds me, it actually kind of makes me wonder, why is Aladdin memorable to you guys? Why do you remember this movie out of all of the other Disney movies? Let me know in the comments. Okay, so now I'm trying to work through a background process. I can't decide if I want to do, you know, a circle or a square, and then I'm starting to work on these birds, and I actually cut a bunch of this part out because it just took so long to do all of these little birds and zoom in and get all of these tiny little details. So you'll notice there's a pretty big jump cut from the birds on the right to the birds on the left. So yeah, as you can see, I'm reworking those curtains again. I just could not find something that made me happy, because in the movie they're gold, but the white wasn't standing out and the gold didn't look right. So right now I'm just kind of working on trying to find a background that really does it for me. And I'm shifting some things around, resizing, just trying to get the image in a style that I like. And I obviously am cleaning up the pagoda as well. So I grew up with a lot of Disney in my life, and being a kid during the Disney Renaissance was like the coolest thing ever, because from my parents, I was able to get the older Disney movie influences like Snow White and Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty. And my grandparents obviously loved and associated and connected with the rubber hose era of Disney. So like all of the old vintagey cartoons. And I got to grow up with the beauty of really detailed, clean, and constantly moving animated Disney films. Which was so cool, like just getting to see all the different eras and watching it grow. Which reminds me, what is your favorite 90s Disney movies? I know, there's so many good ones. For me, when I was a kid, it was always The Lion King was number one and Aladdin. But I think, now that I'm older, I think Hercules may have bumped Aladdin out of its spot. I kind of love Hercules now more as an adult. So something wasn't popping, and I really wanted to draw your attention to this center of the picture. So I'm working in these stars and the moon and the glow of the moon, and now I'm going through and adding in some very, very small parts of line art. It's not a fully lined drawing, but I'm just adding in these little pops of lines to kind of, you know, pull the picture together to make it look a little more clean. And right now I am going in and adding some shines onto the metal to kind of give it a nice little texture. I didn't want to fully shade this drawing. I kind of wanted to keep it as simple as possible and as sketchy and graphic looking as possible. Here's the first time I'm really kind of seeing it pull together. I'm going through and adding some line art to the birds to, you know, again, clean it all up and make it look nice. Also, I think this movie has one of the more cunning Disney villains. I wouldn't rank Jafar as like the most scary or strong Disney villain, but I do really love his character design and voice acting. The voice actor did an incredible job with him. Also, I remember the snake scene. I flip and love the snake scene when I was a kid, and still do now. I loved it. So cool. But what do you think of Jafar as a villain? Do you think he's powerful or fun and quirky? Is he a favorite of yours? I'd love to know as well. Doing my last final curtain cleanups because I could not decide on what I wanted for those. Adding in a blush on Jasmine's face and kind of toning it down a little bit. Final touches on this drawing. And then the very last thing I always do, of course, is I add my signature at the bottom. And there we go, we have a finished drawing. So there you have it, Princess Jasmine has been painted. Thank you so much for joining me during this video. I hope you had a lot of fun watching. Let me know in the comments as well, who's your favorite Disney princess? Do you like this version of Jasmine's dress? Do you like the more updated version? Do you like the live action movie dress? Let me know in the comments. Also, if you have any suggestions on what you'd like to see in the next video, as well as if you liked this style of video better versus the Figment style of video where my face was in the video the whole time. Any and all comments are very welcomed and I really appreciate them in advance. Yeah, that's all I had for you today. I hope I was able to sprinkle a little bit of Disney nostalgia into your day. If you liked this video and want to see future content, hit the subscribe button as well as hit the bell. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a magical day and I'll see you real soon.